Welcome to our live stream video. My name is Beth Parkinson, and I'm the Director of Marketing and Partner Technical Enablement here at Rockwell Automation, and your host for today. I'll be speaking with Dave Rapini. He's the PAx Global Business Manager, and we're going to be giving you a sneak preview for this year's Process Solutions User Group, or PSUG as we like to call it. Welcome, and thanks for joining me today, Dave.
Thanks, Beth. Glad to be here.
We're really glad you're here too. I mean, there's so much excitement about PSUG this year. You know, it's not only the awesome agenda you've put together, but the fact that we're in Chicago usually is the biggest event of all the different locations that we do PSUG. And I think people are a little excited about getting back in person and working across different peers at the event. So lots of excitement there. So before we dive in, I also want to take a moment to thank each of you. Those of you who are joining us on this live stream today. And yes, we love hearing from you. I love seeing those comments. Hello, hello. Great to hear from you around the world. I also would like for each of you to take a moment to think about, have you been to PSUG before? If you have, what's your favorite part? What gets you to keep coming back? You know, what are the areas that you really find valuable? And for those who are new, who've never been before, or for folks who are on the fence as to whether they're going to come this year, what would make this year's event the most valuable? So put those in the comments. We'll keep monitoring them and definitely be looking for them after the live stream too. So Dave, back to you. While we're having our viewers do some comments about PSUG, let's dive in. You know, there are lots of different components to PSUG just to make sure that there's something for everyone who comes to join us this year. And one of the areas is the keynotes. This often sets the stage for the rest of the event. Can you give us a view of what they're going to learn during the keynotes? How are the keynotes going to run this year?
Sure, Beth. I'm really excited to participate in this year's keynote. Our theme this year for keynote is something like expect more from your control system. And the idea behind that is, every process control system at the end of the day does basically the same thing. It's basic process control, control loops making the system run. Where the real value to our end users, maybe one vendor or a different vendor can have, a little faster to time to market. So our tools are great and you can get products out the door a little quicker and maybe a little lower cost of development. At the end of the day, the real value is over that life cycle of the project, of that system, and how long it lives and what you can do and add value, over that 20-year life cycle of the system. So this year's keynote's focusing more around, integration of the tools at the bottom end, the instrumentation, how that and skids and how that content can be delivered up to the higher level systems, as well as how the control data can be pushed through that pipe. So it's really about extending that runtime value and bringing that data up into higher level systems to do analytics and AI, as well as just data storage. So we're really excited about that. The keynote's broken into two basic segments. The first part, we'll do a quick technology overview about how PlantPX delivers on that message and the content that we have and the tools to build that.
That roadmap picture.
And then the second part is about, we're going to have actual end users and customers coming in and talking about their experiences in that space and how that works. So very excited about it.
Awesome. I love that theme of, how to expect more from your control system. And I think with where technology is today, it's not just about the single process. It's about how that data can be used to not only run those operations, but also affect the rest of the overall decision-making across the enterprise. So I think that's really exciting. Another area that I'd like to dive into is the HandsOn Labs. I think there's some folks who are coming to look for strategy. There's others who are really looking at the best practices on how to use the technology. Can you talk to us about what the HandsOn Labs are in case people don't know, but also why it's important that if you're interested in these, that you're registering now to get in?
Yeah, I don't know how other people learn, but one of the best ways for me to learn anyways is certainly roll up my sleeves and get in there and actually start doing things. And PSUG provides that opportunity to get your hands dirty on some of these labs and start playing with the actual content. Unfortunately, a lot of other people feel that way as well. We have a lot of labs and a lot of lab space, but because they're so popular, you need to register early and try to get your name in there early and make sure, there's a lot of new content this year. Try to get into the new ones and just register early to get your name on those lists.
Yeah, I definitely think the as you look at the list, if there's ones that you really want to make sure you get your name in on, reserve today. I know historically there's often a line to see if anybody doesn't show up, but try not to be one of those folks. Get your name on the list now. Now, some other sessions where there might be a little more room is on the products and technology sessions. And I think this is where we're really going both on strategy, but also a little more detail on what's coming across the area. Dave, can you talk a little bit about some of the hot topics this year? I know a lot of times you guys will get the input on what these sessions should be from the users themselves. So what are the things that you think are going to be the hottest topics this year?
Yeah, definitely. The roadmap sessions are always the biggest ones, talking about where we're headed, what are the big directions for Rockwell Automation. We have over 27 sessions this year, which is of unique sessions. So that's a lot of content to absorb. One of the great things about the tech sessions, the labs are great because you're in there working on content, but the tech sessions are a much faster paced learning experience. If you need to get high volume data into you quickly and learn about a lot of things, those tech sessions are big. And again, there's about 27 of them this year, and that's not counting the lab space and the other content. So about 40 minutes per session, and you can usually crank out a lot of those during the couple days.
I know those are a lot of times the sessions that I'll pop into just to be like, what's coming out? What should I know about? So
Yep.
it's pretty awesome, 27 sessions. You know, to complement that, where we're kind of sharing information out to the attendees, there's also some sessions where we're hearing more related to the peer-to-peer engagement. Roundtables discussions were created to kind of get more of that candid conversation. Can you talk about the roundtable discussions that will be happening this year?
Sure. And I think the key element there is PSUG is really a users group. So it's not Rockwell just talking to our customers about what we're doing. It's really a way for customers to share information. It's a users group, so it's about interacting. And the roundtables, are unique to PSUG. Those roundtables, we have I think 5 topics this year for key roundtables. It allows everybody to have a voice, come in, talk about what you're seeing in your industry, see what you think the market is heading, and talk about those topics with a panel of experts that will be there as well in that room to help moderate and talk, about what we think our opinions are in that topic. And the moderators aren't just Rockwell; they're end users, customers, SIs. So there's a big diverse candidate of a group of people there to talk about that content. So you'll hear stuff from our experts and how to transform those innovative topics into an open dialogue.
Yeah, I know one of the topics you mentioned that, is never going to end is related to cybersecurity, right? And I think that's one of the hot topics where really we all need to learn from each other and that collaboration across peers from common industries, but also other industries on how we're coping, how we're dealing, how we're always on point to address cybersecurity dynamics. I think that'll be a really hot topic this year. And what I like about the roundtables, as I mentioned, is that candid conversation across not only Rockwell, the folks who are implementing who might be in our partner network, peers across different industries. So definitely looking forward to that. And last area I wanted to bring forward was the customer presentations. Now you mentioned there's already going to be some customers talking in the keynotes. What else are we going to see related customer presentations this year? I think you mentioned there might be about 25 different customer presentations.
Yeah, so again, PSUG is users group, so it's about our users talking as much as we're talking, if not more. So we have customer sessions there. A lot of our key customers that have had experiences with PlantPX or experience with process or experience doing upgrades or migrations unrelated to PlantPX. It's an open forum where they can bring in sessions on topics that they've experienced. So again, about 20-25 sessions, customers experiences. Everyone's welcome to sit in those sessions and talk to that end user and that customer about what they've experienced. Some SIs will be presenting as well on their experience. And again, it's really important that PSUG, really hosts customer sessions to keep that engagement. So customers like Procter and Gamble will be talking, Thermo Fisher. So there's a broad list of people that are going to be presenting. And it's, again, that user experience, that user group community building experience is what that's all about.
Yeah, I think that's coming together. I know a lot of times after these sessions, during the sessions, there's a lot of questions. Afterwards, there's always like people who want to get more information associated with what's really happening at that customer environment or with that solution that they're deploying. So a great way to do that. Well, Dave, this
And
is
one more on
awesome.
that too.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, one more on that too. So it's really about learning what their measurable experience was in that experience when they're doing those upgrades or doing their migrations or doing their process control. So I'm really excited that that's part of the big takeaway there.
That business outcome, what was the value they got at the end? I think that's fantastic. It helps other people build the business case for their journeys and what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Well, Dave, it sounds like a great lineup across the keynotes, HandsOn Labs, tech sessions, roundtables, customer presentations, and of course, there's always plenty of time for networking, that peer-to-peer discussion on the side as well. So this is awesome, Dave. I really appreciate you joining us on this live stream today. Thank you so much. And I also want to thank each of you for joining. Thanks for bringing spending your time with us on the live stream and for all your comments. In fact, we're always looking for intriguing customer success stories. So on the chance you're working on an interesting process solution using Plant PX or another Rockwell solution, put a little note in the comments right now. We'd love to see it, and who knows, maybe next year you'll be one of the folks on the stage at PSUG. So in the meantime, while you're thinking about that, the registration for PSUG is now open. You can go reserve your spot at rok.auto/PSUG or click on the link attached to this post. We're really excited to have you in Chicago. Thank you so much for joining, and thanks again, Dave, for joining me too.
Thanks very much, Beth. Glad to be here.